So Parkland has agreed to be bought by Sunoco in a deal valued at more than $9 billion. It's complicated because Sunoco is a master limited partnership, and to facilitate this transaction, plans to form a new publicly traded company called Suncorp. Let's get more from Rebecca Teltscher, Portfolio Manager at Newhaven Asset Management. Great to see you. Happy Monday.
Thanks for having me on.
What do you think? I mean, Parkland, it was likely some kind of a deal was going to come down. They've been weighing strategic alternatives.
Yeah, so the company put themselves for sale, I think, in March. And it's been interesting because right now there was the ongoing proxy battle between management and Simpson Oil, and so this deal, from what I'm reading, was approved by the existing board, not the Simpson Oil board members.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be interesting to see what they have to say about this, whether they think that, if they agree with the deal, then it'll go through. If they don't agree with the deal, I wonder if this is, the last we'll hear about this, and
mm-hmm.
if it's going to go through. I mean, a few days ago, I think I read that Simpson Oil was actually winning the proxy battle, and that if they would have won, they would have put, I think, 9 of their board members. They would have had 9 of their team on the board. Mm-hmm. So whether they would have voted for that Sunoco deal, looking at 21% premium, I mean, it's good, but it's, considering how depressed Parkland stock has been, it's not that amazing of a premium that we've seen in some of these other deals that in the past. So I think, it's too soon to speculate until we hear exactly what Simpson Oil and their activists have to say about it.
Let's maybe put up a 5-year chart for PKI. Scotia's take is we think that that competing bids will be few and far between, and we think that investors will jump at the 25% premium here. That's what they're calculating. So in theory, you could get $44 a share in cash Canadian, but it depends on the split because they're partly offering equity here.
Yeah, but you could see, the stock was almost at 46 or 48? My eyes are really bad, but it was higher than 44 a year ago, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is a 21% premium, and maybe it'll be, an end to the worries on a short term. But I wonder on a, long-term basis if shareholders think they could have done better by continuing to own the shares and seeing what, a new board team could have done with the company.
In terms of economic nationalism, apparently the promise here is that they'll maintain the Canadian headquarters in Calgary, and Sunoco would if they bought it, and they continue to invest in the refinery in Burnaby, BC.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're saying for now. I think the refineries had some issues. I think they were, they had some outages, I believe, 1 or 2 years ago. The question is whether they want to continue owning that or not. But what I'll say is with a 70-cent Canadian dollar, versus the U.S., I mean, it's not surprising that we're seeing U.S. companies coming in and buying these, Canadian assets at very good valuations. So what they decide to do with it afterwards, we'll see.
And now I'm working off the Scotia report here, but apparently it did emerge Friday that Simpson had won the proxy contest, as you indicate.
I believe, so I think they were slated to win. I'm not sure if the vote actually
I'll verify that.
Yeah, but now from what I'm reading is that the vote has now been postponed to sometime in June, where they're going to be voting on that plus the Sunoco deal.
I'm sure Simpson will have thoughts. They've been very outspoken on this thing. Scotia Ben Isaacson again says that Parkland has been stuck in the mud. Parkland stock has been stuck in the mud amid investor fatigue for some time.
Yeah, and it was a name that we were looking at. We don't own it, and we thought that the assets they had very good assets. We liked the C-stores, but huge discrepancy between their valuation and, let's just say, a Couche-Tard. So, and I partially was that refinery, but also, maybe questions on whether management was doing a good job or not. But we did like their assets. We did feel they were undervalued. So we do think that Parkland, a lot of this noise with regards to putting the company up for sale, activism, maybe scared some long-term investors away, kind of like ourselves. But we do think the underlying assets are good, so it's not surprising that Sunoco wants to come in and buy these assets and operate them longer term. So not surprising that there is interest. A little bit surprised that the premium wasn't higher, to be honest.
Yeah. Just broadly, we have seen this rally in U.S. stocks, a massive run, the longest sequential gain in 2 decades. However, I see Bloomberg is quoting a strategist at Saxo Markets in Singapore saying there's still this long-term sell America theme out there because of the unpredictability in Washington, I guess. Oh,
100%. I mean, we feel that the rally that we've seen in the past month, if you actually look at the weakness, so since April 2nd, the Liberation Day, we saw markets really come off, and they've regained almost all of their losses in the past month. I mean, the move that we saw just last week alone was pretty incredible, but not based on anything concrete. There's nothing, with regards to tariffs, there's no end in sight. We're seeing just today that, things are fluctuating with regards to what's being tariffed, what's not. With regards to underlying economic weakness, there's no shortage of that. Geopolitical risks, that's continuing to increase. So there's no, to me, there's no reason for the markets to be continuing to rally as they have been.
Yeah, apparently President Trump, of course, that's a volatile indicator, but he changes his mind. But he says he has no plans to talk to his Chinese counterpart this week. I guess that means Xi Jinping of China. Although he signaled that trade deals with other partners could come soon. So non-committal on that front.
Again, you're dealing with inconsistencies and flip-flopping. How many times have we seen tariffs be implemented and then removed and then put back on again? At the end of the day, markets don't like uncertainty. I don't know why the markets have rallied as much. My thinking is that they've removed the worst case scenario, but at the end of the day, it seems like markets are valuing a best case scenario, which I don't think we're there yet.
Rebecca, thank you very much. Rebecca Teltscher has very kindly agreed to stick with us for a second block. We're getting a Monday morning treat here. We'll get more in the markets after this.